The Remington Report. Sponsored by Heritage Place, the place where champions are sold. Also sponsored by the Oklahoma Quarter Horse Racing Association, promoting quarter horse, app, and paint racing in Oklahoma. And I'm your host, Greg Thompson of StallionResearch.com.
You bet I'll be watching.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Greg Thompson of StallionResearch.com for the Remington Report. This is episode 6 of 15. We had 2 graded stakes this past weekend at Remington Park. Let's waste no time. Let's get right to it, to the Remington Park Race Recap.
The Race Recap, brought to you by StallionResearch.com.
The first stakes race highlighted this week is the running of the Grade 3 Decketta Stakes. The race drew interest from California Invader Touch of Paso, who was the morning light favorite going into the race for multiple AQHA World Champion trainer Paul Jones. But as the field began to make its way out of the paddock, the favorite's role rested on the shoulders of Clint Crawford-trained Candy Cartel, who was making her second start of this meet at Remington, with the first place finish coming in an allowance event. Under jockey Tony Bennett, this Corona Cartel filly strolled to the lead in the final stages to get up to win the graded event for owner and breeder Carl Peavyhouse of Ratliff City, Oklahoma. The filly is out of a Strawfly Special mare named This Candy Special. She added just over $32,000 to her career earnings of over $121,000. Now on to the feature event, the Grade 1 $100,000 Leo Stakes for 3-year-olds and up, going 400 yards. Trainers Sleepy Gilbreth and Heath Reed got chummy in the pre-race routine when they shared a few laughs prior to what was being billed as a heavyweight champion event.
In this corner, last year's Grade 1 Riosa and All-American Derby winner, Lano Teller. Fighting out of the red corner, the reigning world champion, Cold Cash 123. Let's get ready for racing.
Okay, a bit too much drama for some, but a championship-level matchup to say the least. Lano Teller was coming off of a 6th place finish in last December's Champion of Champions at Los Alamitos, while Cold Cash 123 was coming off of a title-clinching win in the Grade 1 Championship at Sunland. The two have squared off on 3 occasions, with Cold Cash 123 winning 2 of the 3 meetings. Prior to the race, the reigning world champion was only $20,000 shy of eclipsing the $1 million mark in earnings, with his opposition having a hefty $1.5 million bankroll going into the race. Before the gates opened, the race drama began with Eddie D. Willis' train streaking down, breaking through the gate, and running freely before being caught by the outriders. The horse seemed okay and the field was reloaded as the packed Remington Park crowd looked on. Here is your ringside seat for this heavyweight championship event.
Up sharply, Lano Teller, also Pinky Fire, hooking up early on, shaking blue, trying to come on, streaking down. Eagle good in the next 1, 2, 3, slow starter, but now rolling on the outside. Lano Teller up front, Cold Cash 1, 2, 3. These two trying to get separation. Lano Teller trying to hold off Cold Cash 1, 2, 3 to line.
The hype was much deserved as the world champ along the outside surged with his patented late kick to catch Lano Teller in the closing yards to win by a neck in the Grade 1 event. It marks his 10th win in 15 starts and pushes his career earnings mark over $1 million. It is also interesting to note that the gelding, who is owned by T-Bill Stables of Michigan, didn't break the 100 speed index in this start, which resulted in only a 97.
The Remington Report is sponsored by Heritage Place. If you were wondering where you can make a $6,700 investment in a yearling and turn it into a $143,000 paycheck, just ask winning trainer Javier Contreras. Heritage Place, the place where champions are sold.
After being absent for 1 week, the training races returned here at Remington Park this past Wednesday. Let's take a look at some of those standout performances in the training race review.
We start this week's review with the fastest of the training races with JDS Jimmy, a gelded son of leading second crop sire Ivory James, who took the lead without challenge and pulled away to an easy 1.5 length win for jockey Larry Payne in race 8 for trainer Sam Howard. He completed the 250 yards in 13.49 seconds for owners Gene Dillard and Pete Horton of Ringling, Oklahoma. The next race spotlighted winds up producing the second and the third fastest times on the day, with the winner of the race being Her Painted Wagon, a homebred PYC Paint Your Wagon filly who took the lead from the start and held her position gamely over second place Valiant Little Lady, who is by leading second crop sire Valiant Hero. She is a $27,000 Heritage Place September sales yearling for trainer Judd Curl and for owner Byron Gardner. And that concludes this week's training race review.
The Breeding Shed Moment, brought to you by StallionEsearch.com.
The Breeding Shed Moment spotlight goes to the sire of last week's Grade 1 Leo Stakes, and that sire is Oak Tree Special. Oak Tree Special is a past AQHA Racing World Champion and an AQHA Racing World Champion sire respectively, with runners that have gone on to garner over $6 million in earnings. You might also recall the brilliant racing career that led to his eclipsing the World Championship title after he reeled off 3 Grade 1 wins in his 3-year-old campaign. You can view his member stallion page at StallionEsearch.com.
An official representative for horsemen in the state, the OQHRA administers race, benevolence, and scholarship programs, all to better the state of racing in the state of Oklahoma. Visit OQHRA.com.
There's lots of horse racing action this weekend at Remington Park, including 2 days of trials for the Remington Park Futurity, as well as the trials for the Remington Park Derby are also this weekend. But on top of that, we have the Grade 3 Pauls Valley Handicap going 870 yards. There's 2 standouts in the race. Let's take a look at them.
We will start with the Rodney Reed trained De Passamoke, who is coming off an impressive victory in his last start in an allowance event, which was surely a prep for this weekend's handicap.
Here, out by 4, 2-time defending distance champ, the Passamoke now cruising, gliding home, to debut a winner in 2012.
The 6-year-old gelded son of Okie Dokie Dale came home a winner in stakes company in 2 starts back, in the King Rick Rack Stakes at Zia Park in Hobbs, New Mexico. Steve Holt owns this distance specialist that gets the coveted rail position for this hook race, with G.R. Carter in the saddle. Another top contender is distance specialist Skyline Lover, who is a past stakes winner at Remington Park with a victory in the 550 SLM Big Daddy Stakes. He's seen here in South Florida 2 starts back, winning the Key West Bonus Challenge at Hialeah Park in an ultra-impressive fashion, with the jockey not even uncocking his stick in the stakes victory at the old historic race course. 2 starts back sees another impressive romp going 1,000 yards in the Sailfish Stakes at Hialeah. That's our look at the Grade 3 Pauls Valley Handicap.
Okay, that wraps it up this week for the Remington Report here on StallionEsearch.com. Always, if you can't be at the racetrack, go on to AQHA.com/racing and watch the Q Racing videos at all the partner tracks across the country. Until we meet again, this is Greg Thompson of StallionEsearch.com for the Remington Report.